Hello and welcome back to my channel, Chess Capture Chess. In today's episode, we're going over now game 10 in the rapid increase. So we're now in the double digits of games. We lost a point last game, but that was unlucky. It was a bit chaotic in the end, many misses and blunders, but hopefully that doesn't happen again. So maybe we can get back to winning. So here we go. Here's a person from India this time. So it's 1753. We're going to play d4. Play our Queen's Gambit like natural. So, simple d4, d5, c4. Now he's going to play the Slav, so we're going to play our knight out here now. Now we see moves like this will be probably happening soon. Now we could put our bishop up, but I want to put, I think, the knight out first. You might see a capture happen here, but that gives us a nice e4 push here. Now, I'm going to say, in classic Queen's Gambit fashion, we're going to play our bishop out to g5. So, getting the first few moves done in the opening. Now, by the way, we're also gaining less and less, and that's only 18 per gain. So I think it's going to start getting to a bit more normal times now. As he blocks the pin, we're just going to play our pawn up. Get our bishop and queen now in the position. So this is quite natural, this. We go through this many times. Just play our bishop here. Now you might see this capture now happen. They're going to now... So, this gives us a few options. Do we play this straight away, or do we go back? Now, either way, I think it could obviously end up going back to here, but we keep a pin this way, so I would like to go here. Now, this knight probably will come here to here or something. That's the only thing with the Slav. He's going to struggle as he does so. I think we're going to get our queen now across, as this is going to protect this pawn just in case of anything like this, as he's going to go here. Now what we could do is this move, but that kind of guarantees that. So we could actually push this pawn here. This will stop the time wasted move here of this. So I actually kind of want to try this. You know, there's always room for trying stuff out. This will give this nice move kind of limitations for black, as he's now going to gain the centre, and this might be something we've got to be very careful of here, as after this capture, maybe not so bad actually, because we can still play this pin. There is a fork, we know that, but this kind of stops the whole pin there, so I think we're going to play this first. Now that's going to give us more attackers than defenders, as we have now got 3 against 2. So he's going to have to find a way to do something, and pushing is not the way to go, because we obviously capture his queen, and by the time he captures a piece, we'll capture back with a pawn. So we're all right. Okay. So, hopefully, maybe not the best move, that pawn, but it does still stop stuff. Now he's going to capture, not capture, he's going to attack, shall I say. He's looking to capture our bishop here. Now I say, just having a look here, we have a bishop can capture here, and after the capture our knight can capture. My guarantee is if they try to push it away, we have got a very nice outpost here. So if we capture with the knight here, they're going to capture back first, and by the time we capture back, it's not going to look pretty for us. So I'm going to say we capture now with the bishop. So my guess is, yep, quite natural capture here. And we're going to capture back with the knight. Now the issue I think we've got now is this bishop's now active, but we couldn't stop that. They had that push. Maybe something to look for in the next few times we have the Slav, because that's happened I think twice now we've got the Slav. So just trying to work our way around that sort of opening, trying to get used to it all. Now he's going to move the knight back. So we've got a very, very tough decision now actually, with do we want a castle? Actually even. Does castling benefit us here? Because they've got a very strong queen and bishop here. Castling queenside is actually a very valuable option, but I just don't know. I like the idea of this push in the centre first, to be honest, as we might be able to get, you know, a bit more of our pieces through here. But I think we're going to castle. I do think castling will be the best option here. We can bring our knight back. We can bring up this actually. We can play a bit more positional. So he's going to attack. This is kind of looking at maybe a Frenchetto of the bishop, but I don't think that'll happen. As after a capture, we're going to capture and they will capture back. And also we've got to be careful on this knight as well. So honestly, I think we go straight back with this pawn move, capture, and then we capture. And we've still got this very nice line here. And again, I think we've had this a few times. I think we're just going to push forward. We don't mind an exchange here. Gives us the open file. So this is all okay. Soon we can actually try and get a bit more of a, unexpected move, you could say, with this pawn push. But we could also actually just capture now. That could have been smarter. Capturing. May have missed something there. Is there a sacrifice on here? If we capture and they capture back, we capture with our knight. Is there anything on here? I don't think so. I think he's kind of blocked his way in there, so now we can focus on other stuff. A pawn push here does look good, but it blocks this. I feel like now is a good time to play this move. So I feel quite intended to do so now. So after this capture, we're going to take with a knight. And then after this whole thing, I've made sure they can't actually do what we did with it. If they tried to play a pin, we can capture their knight with check, therefore winning their bishop. So, yep, as natural here. All same stuff there. Now, if he moves his knight like this, I feel like traps his bishop. Not smart. Moves the knight. He's moved it twice already, so I don't know if it will 3 times technically. But he's going to go to this square instead. So putting more pressure on this pawn. Very good move, to be fair. I'm not going to try and get any reason behind that. Why it's not good. Now, we could actually play this. The only issue is it kind of limits that. A queen move here isn't actually too bad, I would say. And we have got ideas. Now, I think that is probably our best pot. If he pushes, we just go back. The only issue actually I do have with that is maybe this pin. That looks a bit scary. So we got to really be careful here. I honestly think we just move our rook across. Now, after this, there's going to be a capture. Sadly, they're going to have the open file. We can't try and, do anything there. So we're going to have to give away that. But we still have a nice pawn structure here. And to be fair, this rook's not looking at anything yet. It might try go here and cross, but I think we have enough to try and stop that. So, here, now he's going to double up those rooks in a way, make him protect each other now. We haven't got really anything going on right now. So I think we're going to need to start attacking stuff. But I think that's going to mean bringing our knight back here. So we're going to put pressure on this knight. After a series of captures, that might be alright. This bishop is now going to be a very strong piece, I can sense. But I think we're going to have the f-pawn pushing very hefty here. Try and gain our time out. We're 2 minutes down on time as well. But he's going to move this bishop across now. So putting pressure on this square here. Now I think we could try and reroute our bishop to try and stop this. As we're not in the best of spots right now. And if we play this now, there's going to be a capture. And we might not be in the best there. I actually think we're now going to push our f-pawn here. If a capture, we capture back. And it actually doesn't look too bad. Yes, we've opened up a bit. But I feel like we're kind of forced on this. We're definitely losing in this position, which is a bit annoying. But we don't win everything here. So, let's see if there's any way we can try and get some sort of comeback through here. Now, he's going to bring his rook to the 7th rank. Very smart option there. Not even going to try and go against that. And I think we kind of are forced to put our bishop now along here already. I would love an exchange here. That absolutely makes that. And this just makes it even nicer as well for us. Now, I actually don't know whether to take with rook or queen here. And I'm actually starting to think queen. Because we're now putting pressure on this pawn. I think this guarantees a nice exchange for us. And a very good pressure. So we might have just started crawling ourselves back into this game, actually. Ever so slightly. As I think we have to take here. As now we've just kind of got a bit more of the edge now towards this. Very scared on this pawn. Maybe trying to offer us trade here will be the smartest. As he does put a bit of an attack onto here. Maybe pushing our queen across, let's say. This move looks threatening, but we have got the rook move here. Got to be careful that we don't undefend this. We could even play this move, but I am expecting this to happen very shortly. I feel like queen actually up one was better as well. But I guess we have this protection here. As we expected, there is going to be this pawn push. Or this rook, sorry. I'm going to do a pawn push is what I wanted to say. But how? Maybe the queen there was actually a 10 times smarter option. If we play this, they're going to play down here now. Which we could actually play across, surprisingly. Which isn't the worst, but I still don't like it. So, we've got to figure out a way here to try and get this across. Maybe rook across here is what I was thinking. And we're just going to try it. We've not got the best here. We're nearly double time, lost here. I think we're now forced to play this queen move. As these rooks are going to really pair up. He's going to play this to try and pretend to go for this pawn here. But really, I think he's going to go to this square. Okay, so he's going to push the rook for this queen first, so I can't get our rook in. I wasn't actually expecting him to play that. Now, I'm just trying to see if there's any way. I think there's a way we can play a push. If this captures push, they capture, we have this. We're going to try it. We've got nothing to lose now at all. So, we're going to go for it. Hopefully, getting the greater edge here. So, obviously attacking this queen now. If they capture, we can sacrifice another pawn here. Which will have to be, tried to be defended. We're going to just try and throw our pieces out at them. Because if this captures, we have a lot here now. I'm expecting a move like this, which might just catch us off. But we have a rook move after, which might just about give us some sort of that. But he's going to capture. So very much taking a risk here. We're going to have to just take. Now, we might be able to even force a draw at this point. But have we got more? A push of the pawn doesn't really do anything. So we're just going to check for now. If he brings his queen back, we kind of think are forced to capture though. Which I'm fine with. Because we're now going to push. We're now just going to launch this pawn up. We're not got best on time. He has to play, I think, rook to a8. After we push, he has to block. And then we play our rook across. And I think he has to play his other rook here. So, maybe just about they're escaping here. But it's not clear. It's not clear. Maybe we don't actually. Maybe because we know that that's going to happen. Maybe we get our rook across or something to this pawn or this pawn. As long as we can try and win back our sacrificed pawns. We are actually level on material now. Maybe I made a mistake with the checks. Maybe we actually should have guaranteed a bit of a better spot here. Now, just to clarify, if this happens, we have, we have that. After that comes across, though, maybe we have something, but I just don't think we do. So I'm actually genuinely thinking we play our rook up to here now. And we're going to just try and go for these two pawns. This pawn, I think, will try and push. And he's going to, if he plays something like this, I think that's a big mistake. He has to keep that there, and he's going to try this. And I think what he's looking at is this. And he'll want to trade off, which I do not mind one bit. Because we're actually going to be a pawn up here with this one. And we actually have a chance here of now winning. But we have very little time to do so. So we're going to have to be on our A game now. For all of these moves. Now we're going to capture this pawn. They're going to capture. I don't see anything else on with checks. So we're actually just going to capture. And we're immediately going to capture back here. Not trying to lose any time now. So we have a good pawn here. Now what I'm hoping is they're going to try and move the king. And after this, they're going to, be a bit sacrificed down. So, we're going to move our... Oh, we're going to be a struggle here. We're actually going to move our rook down now. Because this is going to force a push here. So. This is getting a bit tense now. Have we just about gained it back, or are we maybe on the losing end here still? I still think we can win a pawn on this side now. If they move, we have a check. I don't actually know if we do push even now, though. They're going to actually just go for this now here. A simple move like that. I don't actually know what he's trying to do here. I actually think we're just going to take. Because after they take, we can get our king up. So we're going to straight away do that. Make sure we don't get blocked. Now, it's just one extra pawn. If we can try and get that done, then that is going to be very good. So he's going to move that rook across. We're just going to push a pawn up. We're not going to do anything too stupid yet. Now we're going to push our rook across here, block off this path for the king. He's going to attack us now. We're actually going to just move up one move, and then we're going to go probably all the way down because he's going to attack us again. Yep, as we expected, and now it's going to get our king across and attack this pawn. Oh, okay, so he's wanting a trade. Now, I didn't really look at this. Now, I think we're going to accept this trade, as if we push, it's 2 pawns. I feel like we have this. We're going to make sure our pawns are connected, though. We cannot afford to disconnect him, I don't think. Although, maybe actually disconnect him is the best option here, because if we capture, he's got to defend 2 pawns here that are kind of not in the best position. Now, he's deciding probably whether this is the right choice to capture or not. I don't actually know what's best here. He's not going to capture now. So, we are going to go back. I don't want to take a risk here for anything. And we're starting to gain our time back. A minute now below him. So, try and get our king across now. He's going to play a check, probably, as we're going to play this move here. If they play a check, we can push our pawn up. A very nice move if we can. It's going to block our king in a lot, but we can escape back, and I think our rook will kind of tolerate the moves that they're going to play. So again, it's another game where we get into the lower end, so sorry for the long video again, but we're going to have to, it's going to be most of them now. Very long games here. So, we even have now stuff like this check, which would force the king to either path now as well. So it's going to move, actually, this, which I highly did not expect. Now, do we try and push here? I do not think so. I actually think we're going to play the rook here. And if they play this rook move, we could actually put the king here. But I think a pawn in front is actually going to be the best here. And now I'm expecting a capture and a capture. And now we are very much in the front seat now, as we're going to play a check. I'm going to try and gain the opposition here, using our video from the rook and a king. Now we can almost guarantee it here. We're going to play a bit of a triangulation move almost, and we're going to now push this so we can actually get our pawn up now. It's a very annoying endgame as well. These are the sort of endgames that are high rated, so we've got to make sure we can try and push it back. And it's not helpful when you've got 90 seconds on the clock. So, but he's now running out of time. So this just helps ever so slightly. And we're going to push this pawn now. Hopefully, if he doesn't put his rook in line with us, we're actually able to just carry on doing this, push the king up. But it looks like we're going to have to use the triangulation method almost. As we're just going to move the king across one here. It's going to give us a check. We're going to play down. No checks here. Just got to make sure we don't lose our rook. Sorry for that. So, I do think we're in very much a hugely good position. I think this is winning for us. He's going to play this now. We're going to push the pawn up one. And we're going to struggle in this last part, but we're going to have to try. Now, do we go here? I feel like we do. So we're going to move our king across. I'm expecting the check in this again. We're actually now ahead on time against him. So we've been able to succeed in that front. Now, I think we'd like to do a check here. I'm actually starting to... Actually, no, surely it's this check here. I think this is just going to win the game. A check here forces the king to move, and we're going to just promote. Nearly getting a bit too much there. He does resign, and that is a nice win. So it gains us 18 points to 1783. Now, that was a very, very good game in the end. That was a bit tiring in that second half, but we made many mistakes, I feel like, in this first part. So we got a bit far, actually, in the book moves. You know, we're still going there. We actually got all the way up to move 7 of book moves. They didn't like that move. I feel like we were struggling here. I didn't like what we did here. We're actually 2 points up. Still 2 points up. We lost a bit here. But surprisingly, we're still winning. I said we were miles losing here. We are still a point up, but I think that's just because we're a pawn up. That is literally because we're a pawn up. I didn't really realise it. This is where we started going a little bit worse. But we're still actually 0.6 up. So this is where we now start losing. And I think this is a point down. Although this was a miss. Like we said, there was a rook move like that. And they did not like the capture that they did. And they really didn't like our move. But it did get them to move away here. And again, we did say the poor move. But we got a little bit too much like the lower rating doing checks. And surprisingly though, we are just about able to give this. And we saw here that it was going to be a pawn up. And they make a mistake here moving this, and we're going to just here. There was actually a mistake. We could have actually just won their pawn, I think, here. And they play a miss, and it's just a few misses here. We go the wrong timing, I think, there. And yep, they don't capture, but this is a huge mistake, as they wanted us just to push the pawn. But here, it is actually dead even in this position. It should be a draw, they're saying. But I think just because they can move the king here in this position, actually, and we technically might not be able to do something, but now we're just clearly winning. I think that was their only chance, and he kind of blew it there, but I think that was low time pressure. And in the end, we win the game. So that is it for today's video. Thank you, and bye-bye.